As we were building it, there's kind of this growing anticipation of actually being able to drive in the car. And then to see, like, because we had watched the videos of how fast it goes and it was pretty cool. We were learning about it and its capabilities. So I feel like as we were putting it together, we kind of just wanted to be like, okay, let's get it together so we can finally drive the car.
Each of us had our certain part. We kind of had to make sure we did follow the instructions right and figured out how to do it right.
The fact that it was a big group hands-on project where if we made a flaw, it wouldn't work out the way it was supposed to was kind of, I feel like it was much like the workplace and how in the future when we're doing things together for our career, that it was much more realistic than like a normal school project because the outcome was determined by how well we did it.
Called the TheSWITCH Lab, and it's build an electric car kit, and we build all the components that make an electric car.
A lot of the different procedures that we had to do, a lot of new stuff for us. We hadn't really worked with electrical vehicles of any type before. Doing a lot of the electrical wiring just by hand, going through the manual.
And with opportunities for career and employment.
I really do think I learned a lot from it.
And so the students all kind of work in teams, and then they build the different subsections, and then it all comes together in one car.
The car can't run without the mechanical portions of it, and it also can't run without the electrical portions of it. So having the whole team of guys come together at the very end is probably my favorite part.
First time you fire that up and you press down on the pedal, instant torque, and you just go flying. It is the best feeling ever.
To just see it go, it's just great. The workforce to work on tomorrow's electric vehicle.
What would you say to them?
I'd say to definitely, even if you don't think you can do it, try it because you'd be amazed that you can do it because we didn't think we would be able to, and look at us now.
Before the class, hadn't had really much experience with cars in general, let alone electric cars. Many of the main components of this car are different from normal cars, like the replacements for those parts or the absence of those parts in the electric car itself, so it helped me to learn about both types of cars. I do plan on going into the field of engineering, which could involve some of the skills learned in this with the basic circuitry and the basic knowledge of how the controller works to send out like electrical cycles which power the car, and I feel like that was pretty useful. Doing this confirmed that it's a field that I would want to go into.
I can imagine a lot more electric vehicles being driven, and so it's just nice to have that knowledge of this class so I know what they do, what they are, how they work. I'm just really glad that I got to have the experience to work on this project. I thought it was a really fun class, and now I know more about electric cars.
At the beginning, I was like, what? We have to build a car from the beginning? No, thank you. But now it's just like, I loved it. I loved the experience. It was just...
This is what the future is all about. And we're getting a head start that other schools and other people don't have. What you guys are doing is you're giving us a chance to learn about these electric cars, how they work, how they function, use all the things that we've learned and use it for our future, colleges and other careers that we're interested in.
I'm really appreciative that we were able to do this because it has given me a lot of knowledge to use in my future life.
I just think it's really cool to see how electric car, the industry is growing. Probably in the future, all fuel run cars will probably not be in the running anymore because these are more clean, efficient. They don't have as much output of gases and other bad things to harm the environment.
I've always been pretty fascinated with electronics and how they work. This was just kind of my first real practical hands-on experience with actually modifying and using those electronics to do something cool. Doing this confirmed that it's a field that I would want to go into.
I wasn't really thinking about doing stuff that had to do with building things like cars, but after doing this class, I think that would be kind of cool to do that.
It was more of a rewarding project than most you do in school, because most projects in school, you do it, you turn it in, and then you're like, okay, that's it, it's done. But here we were able to use our hands, we were able to put something together, all together as a group, and then collectively afterwards, we were able to experience the accomplishment of what we had done by driving in the car, and I feel like it was a much more gratifying experience of a project in school than most are.